Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Here.
Councilwoman Mott?
Here.
Councilman Smith?
Here.
Councilman White?
Here.
Councilman Willis?
Here.
Council President Faustini?
Here.
Thank you. Can you take us through a review of tonight's agenda, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this evening we have the release of a performance bond posted by Roll Realty. We have one matter on for executive session, which is contractual pertaining to PSE&G. We have the approval of council minutes for both June 15th and June 29th. We have the announcement of the winners of the 19th Amendment essay contest. There's one ordinance on for a second reading by title and one ordinance on for a first reading by title. We have two budget-related resolutions. There are 13 resolutions on the agenda, and we do have the addition of two more resolutions this evening. The first one will be numbered as 20-219, titled Authorizing the Mayor and Municipal Clerk to Execute an Identification and Hold Harmless Agreement. And the second edition is number 20-221, titled Resolution Urging Governor Murphy to Restore Funding for the Homestead Benefit Program and Senior Fees Program, and urging members of the 18th Legislative District and all members of the state legislature to not support the governor's defunding of these programs. And then we move on to the correspondence. We have three matters of correspondence this evening, and payment of bills totaling $1,745,655.81. Council reports, and we conclude with public comment. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Before we go to council comments on agenda items, can I get a motion to add to the agenda resolutions 20-219 and 20-221?
So motion?
Motion by Council President Faustini, seconded by Councilman White. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, council comments on agenda items.
Nothing, Mayor.
Nothing there.
Okay.
Nothing here, Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Antonides, as mentioned, we did have we have a release of a performance bond. I know the council declined to attend today's meeting. Have been in contact with you. Everything is in order. Are there any council comments regarding the release of the performance bond posted by Pole Realty LLC for public improvements to block 255 lot 13?
No, Mayor.
Okay, as this is a public hearing, we'll open it up for public comments concerning the release of the performance bond to block 255 lot 13. What I'll ask you to do is, if you are a member of the public and you have a comment regarding the release of this performance bond, you can, if you're on the WebEx meeting, you can unmute yourself by using the microphone with the red microphone with the arrow through it. If you are on an audio-only line, I believe *6 will unmute your line. Yes. So at this point, we'll open it up for public comments concerning the release of the performance bond posted by Roll Realty LLC. Okay. Seeing none, we will close the public portion, and the performance bond will be on tonight's meeting. Can I get a motion for executive session? This will be resolution 20-203, authorizing an executive session in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act for a contractual item concerning public service, electric, and gas.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Councilman Benjavanga. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will have executive session tonight. At this point, we'll open it up once again for public comments on agenda items only. Again, if you're on the WebEx meeting, simply unmute yourself, state your name. Once you are recognized, at that point, give the clerk your address and then proceed with your question. If you are on the call-in line only, *6 should unmute your line. At that point, again, state your name. When you're acknowledged, you can continue to provide the Borough Clerk your address and then state your question. At this point, I'll open it up for public comments on agenda items only. Okay, seeing none, close the public portion. At this point, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn tonight's agenda meeting.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Benjavanga, seconded by Councilman White. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Seeing no reason to delay, we will go right to the public meeting. Again, this meeting has been advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, with adequate notice of this meeting also being provided to the borough's 2 official newspapers and published on the borough's website. Ms. Antonides, will you call the roll once more?
Councilman Benjavanga,
Here.
Councilwoman Mott,
Here.
Councilman Smith,
Here.
Councilman White,
Here.
Councilman Bullock,
Here.
Council President Faustini.
Here.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Councilman Wolak. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, bless this governing body, grant it the courage and wisdom to make fair and just decisions for our community. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. At this point, again, we'll open it up for public comments on agenda items only. Seeing none, close the public portion. Can I ask for a motion for the approval of council minutes June 15th, agenda and public, June 29th, a special meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Councilman Benjavanga. Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavanga,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilman Bullock,
Yes.
and Council President Faustini.
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you, Ms. Antonides. At this point, I'll turn it over to you for the announcement of the 19th Amendment Centennial Essay Contest winners.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, it was a pleasure to work with both Council President Faustini and Councilwoman Mott on this essay contest. The essays were so well written and very enjoyable to read, which made our decision-making process quite a challenge. The topic of the essay was in recognition of the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. Each contestant needed to highlight an activist who had a connection to New Jersey and explain the importance of his or her role to the ratification of the 19th Amendment. A very special thank you goes out to Darlene Cullen of the South Plainfield TAP for her very generous sponsoring of all our prizes for this evening's winners. Again, Darlene, thank you so much. And without further ado, the winners are as follows. For grades 7th and 8th, representing the South Plainfield High School, the third place prize of a $75 gift card goes to Addie Shaw. The second place prize of a $100 gift card goes out to Nina DeSimone. The first place prize of a $150 gift card goes to Neha Balmaretti. And now for grades 9 through 12, representing the South Plainfield High School, the third place prize of a $75 gift card goes to Caitlin Baskowitz. The second place prize of a $100 gift card goes out to Purva Balmaretti. And the first place prize of a $150 gift card goes out to Spiza Rizvi. And I'd like to congratulate all the winners and thank all the students I will have your winner certificate, gift card, and a 19th Amendment pin, which is similar to the one I'm wearing this evening. I'll be mailing these out to you at some point this week. So again, congratulations to everybody. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Excellent. Congratulations to all the winners and all that entered the contest for their efforts. At this point,
I want to congratulate all the winners as well. The essays were very impressive, both with content and their writing ability. And I'm very proud of everyone who submitted an essay. I mean, your writing skills are so important. You could take the lesson away with you, and I'm sure, it will help you through life. I just want to thank everyone who participated and also thank Tap Into for their generous sponsorship.
excellent. Thank you. Councilwoman, do you want to say?
So same thing, I could definitely tell that there was a lot of effort put forth and a lot of thought put forth into these essays, and they were very fun to read. It was definitely a very difficult decision to make, but you could tell, everybody was written fantastic, and I also want to thank, Darlene Cullen with Tap Into for the generous donation. And we greatly appreciate you, and we appreciate all of the students for participating, so thank you.
Excellent. Okay. At this point, we'll move on to ordinance for final adoption, ordinance 2176.
An ordinance creating the South Plainfield Human Relations Committee under Chapter 17, Article 8, titled Boards, Committees, and Commissions within the Borough Code.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for final adoption on ordinance 2176?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Council President Paustini, seconded by Councilman Benjavanga. As this is for final adoption, we'll open it up for public comments regarding ordinance 2176. Again, I heard a couple additional beeps. I don't know if we've got additional folks on the phone. If you're on the WebEx, simply use the red arrow with the line through it. You can click on that to unmute yourself. At that point, state your name. When you are acknowledged by the Borough Clerk, provide your name and your address. If you are on the dial-in only, you should be able to mute yourself, I believe, by #6 or *6. That should unmute your line, and then the same thing. Go ahead, state your name. Once you're acknowledged, proceed with your question, and proceed with your address, providing your address to the Borough Clerk, and then proceed with your question. Okay, at this point, we'll open it up for public comments regarding ordinance 2176. Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. At this point, I'll ask for council comments regarding ordinance 2176.
Nothing, Mayor.
Nothing? Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Faustini?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. Now for introduction, ordinance 2179.
An ordinance amending Chapter 415 of the Code of the Borough of South Plainfield titled Swimming Pool.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for introduction on ordinance 2179?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Benjavanga, seconded by Councilwoman Mott. Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll, please?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President Faustini?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. The public hearing and the final adoption for ordinance 2179 will be set for August 10th, 2020 at approximately 7 p.m. At this point, we'll move on to authorizing the approval of the 2020 municipal budget amendment. At this point, before we proceed, I'll turn it over to our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Cullen, if you have any comments before we proceed.
Yes, Mayor. What I'd just like to mention is, wait a minute, see, I'm getting a bit of an echo here.
You're fine here.
All right, let's see, is that better?
It's tolerable.
I think we have to vote, name member
All
first.
right,
Matt, I
Hmm?
think we have to vote
all right, let's try this again. Okay,
public hearing. I think we have to
so,
vote.
We will.
you know, I'm getting feedback still. Anyway, the budget, as I mentioned, you know, at introduction, are you still getting feedback there, man?
It's not that bad, Glenn.
It's just like Yankee Stadium, go ahead.
All right, so, anyway, this is significantly different from what did. Our budget's $31,054,000. We've made a number of significant summaries, down in areas like recreation, police, public works, and really what has happened, unfortunately, is we've also had to make similar reductions to our miscellaneous revenues. Areas such as our court office, building, and unfortunately, we are seeing a bit of an increase in tax appeals when those items had really gone south for a while. So, as of right now, as I mentioned earlier, revenue losses, we're down almost 210,000 in court. We're down 260,000 in building. We're down another 125,000 in hotel tax. We're down in sewer, another 160,000. And, you know, we've pretty significant in expenses, but unfortunately, very difficult to be able to offset some of those revenue losses. We're going to go maybe towards the tail end of the year. We may get some relief both in revenues as well as some CARES Act funding, but there is no CARES Act funding in this budget at this time. So the impact to the average homeowner is $109.50.
Okay. Glenn, I don't know if you're relying on your computer connection for your audio. I think that's probably, your signal looks a little weak from here. But anything else, or?
I can call in if that's better.
That's better. Sounds better. Glenn?
I think he's calling
Is
in.
that there, man?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Anything else?
No, that's it. If anybody has any questions.
Okay. At this point, we will open it up for public comments on the 2020 municipal budget amendment and the municipal budget. So again, I know I've heard a couple of additional beeps. I don't know if there's any additional individuals, residents on the line. What I would again suggest, if you are on the WebEx, you will see a red arrow to the right of your name. You should be able to click on that red microphone. You should be able to click on that red microphone and unmute yourself. At that point, state your name, wait for yourself to be acknowledged by the municipal clerk, provide the clerk with your address, and then you can proceed with your question. If you are on the phone only, I believe *6 should unmute yourself. And again, at that point, once you're unmuted, state your name. Once you are recognized, provide your address, and then proceed with your question. At this point, we'll open it up for public comments and public hearing for the 2020 municipal budget amendment. since I don't trust technology, warning, I am going to unmute all the lines. So if you're doing something else and you would rather not have your audio captured, at this point, you probably want to stop that. I will unmute the lines briefly for all participants. And again, if you have a question, go ahead, state your name, and then wait for yourself to be acknowledged by the borough clerk, and then you can state your question. So all lines are unmuted at this point. Again, if we have any questions, please state your name at this point. Okay, I am going to mute all the lines again. Amy, you're muted as well, so at this point, I'm going to ask one more time if there's any public comments regarding the public hearing and approval for the 2020 municipal budget amendment and budget. At this point, again, unmute yourself, state your name, and wait for yourself to be acknowledged, and then proceed with your question. Going once, twice, 3 times. At this point, we'll close the public portion. And again, before we take a vote, I guess we'll do them separately on 20-204 for the municipal budget amendment, and then also 20-205 authorizing the adoption of the 2020 municipal budget. But before we do that, are there any council comments regarding either of those?
Mayor, I just want to comment that I appreciate the time and the effort that CFO Glenn Cullen, all of our department heads, and our auditor Bob Swisher, who's on tonight, and also our council for the past few months going diligently through this budget, seeing the catastrophic revenues not only in the town, throughout the state, the county, and everywhere throughout the country with COVID-19. It was a big challenge to face, but we did face it early, and we were able to tackle some of those expenses so that we were able to offset some of the revenue losses. Now, obviously, with the CARES Act and with some of the revenue mechanisms that will come in the future, we hope to be able to have a decent fall or December when it comes to revenue. But right now, those aren't in place, and really just want to thank everybody. I know it's a struggle when it comes to having one thing in the beginning of the year and then totally flip-flop the other way at the midpoint of the year. So it's a good solid budget. It's up, as far as our salaries are up less than 1% year over year. Even though that our union contracts have a 2% raise, we were able to tackle that and find ways to save that money, and the actual budget is up less than 1%. So it's just the revenue side that really struggles with. So I want to thank everybody who participated, from department heads to Glenn to every employee who bared with us over the past 3 months.
I agree. I know Mr. Cullen did, and the entire finance committee, the administration, everyone chipped in. I guess we've had some crazy times over the years, but I don't think anyone would have seen a pandemic coming, or hopefully not. But here we are. So we'll get through it. And I know that the state is looking to borrow $10 billion. So it just kind of shows the impact statewide. And if that's not a big number for you, I don't know what is. So some challenging times, and I appreciate all the hard work. Any other?
Yeah,
Yep.
Mayor, I'll just mention to that, there is no borrowing being done in order to, plug any hole in this budget.
That's a good point. Thank you, Mr. Cullen. Anyone else? Any other council comments or questions?
Nothing from me, Mayor.
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay, can I get a motion for resolution 20-204?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Councilman Smith. Ms. Antonis, can you call the roll on 20-204?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Willis?
Yes.
Council President Bustini?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. And can I also get a motion for to authorize the adoption of the 2020 municipal budget, resolution 20-205?
So moved.
Second.
Hey, Mayor, just real quick.
Yep.
I'm getting a message that nobody can hear us. It's just like a whisper.
Amy, you can hear us?
I couldn't hear you just now.
Oh. What about, do you know,
I think we just have to get closer.
was that from the entire time, or,
It was right after Glenn,
oh, just right after Glenn?
so nobody, not that anybody needs to hear my speech again, but I'm just saying nobody heard anything.
You're definitely a little low, so I don't know if you're close enough to your,
Can you hear me?
now we can hear you.
Okay.
But you were definitely a little low. All right, well, we did authorize the Resolution 20-204 did pass. It was authorized, or was a motion by Councilman White, and seconded by Councilman Smith. Passed 6-0. At this point, I asked for a motion for Resolution 20-205 authorizing the adoption of the 2020 municipal budget. That was motioned by Councilman Smith and seconded by Councilman White. At this point, I'll ask Ms. Antonides to call the roll for Resolution 20-205.
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President Faustini?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for adoption of resolutions 20-206 to 20-221?
Motion.
Mayor,
Second.
real quick, you took the motion in a second, but I need to separate 207. Sorry, I didn't catch that earlier.
207, all right. Let's redo that. Can I get a motion for resolutions 20-206, 20-208 to 20-221?
Motion.
Second, Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Wolak, seconded by Councilman White. Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President Faustini?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. Can I also get a motion for resolution 20-207?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Smith, seconded by Councilman Wolak. Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Recuse?
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President Faustini?
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. We have 3 items of correspondence on for tonight. The Recycling Monthly Report for May 2020, the Board of Health Monthly Report for June, and the Environmental Commission minutes for February 12th and March 11th. Can I get a motion to accept the correspondence?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Councilman Smith. Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President Faustini?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for payment of the bills of $1,745,655.81?
So move.
Second?
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Council President Faustini. Ms. Antonides, can you call the roll?
Councilman Benjavanga?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mott?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President Faustini?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. Mr. Rizzo, anything for us tonight? No, Mr. Mayor. First, may we say welcome back. Mr. Cullen.
Yes, Mayor, I just want to thank everyone that participated in us finalizing the 2021 budget. I want to thank the council for approving it tonight. Obviously, we're going to continue, there's a tremendous amount of work going on at the pool. Just as a summary, last week, we were able to get PSE&G to energize the electrical lines because it turned out the line coming in when we removed some of the concrete, it turned out the telephone pole was rotted out and was gonna collapse, and unfortunately it was our pole. So there's a number of items that have been done. We're in our final stages. We were hoping to open up this week. That obviously is not gonna happen, but we're making every effort to open the pool. With that progress.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. As an update on the road project, the contractor has started some of the work over on the St. Nicholas project, the preliminary work. He's starting to cut the road, and we'll be replacing the concrete and curbs in some spots shortly. And on the Craigwood and corporate project, we're submitted to DOT and just waiting for their review to get their comments back, and then we'll be ready to go out to bid. With that progress, Mayor.
Thank you, sir, and welcome back, Mr. Miller. Ms. Antonides.
Progress, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I want to let you know that the Recycling Committee has put out to the public library to post a sign that says, please remember to use used masks and gloves belong in the trash, not in the ground. To please do their part and keep our community clean. I want to thank the Recycling Committee for getting that out and the public library. And again, progress.
Thank you. Councilman Wallach.
Progress, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman White.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick things. First of all, I'd like to thank DPW Department and the Hometown Heroes Committee for the great work that they did getting all the banners up before the 4th of July. They look great. A lot of positive feedback from the borough, and we're very pleased that we can honor our veterans in that manner. Also wanted to let everyone know, for those of you who are not aware, that Next Step Nutrition actually has opened up on Plainfield Avenue next to Moan's Flowers, and they have nutritional shakes, smoothies. They have this killer protein waffle. Not that I've been there or anything, because I know that's the joke. That's going to be the joke. But they're doing really well. A lot of positive feedback, and I love the fact that everyone's posting on. I think it's South Plainfield Dine Delivery and Takeout. I believe that's the page. A lot of great posts on there, just mentioning some of the businesses in town and really helping, spark people to go out and just patronize these restaurants as well. And we're looking forward to a couple of new ones coming into town as also. Wanted to congratulate the 19th Amendment Centennial winners and all those who participated. Great event there. And with that progress, Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman, I didn't doubt that you went there. I just doubted that you would have ordered the protein waffle. And by the way, you are much further away than you seem, right? So.
I lost 10 pounds, Mayor.
Yeah, TV makes you look thinner. Councilwoman Mott.
Progress, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Benjavanga.
Progress.
Thank you. Council President Faustini.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have actually a couple of things I want to announce. I just want to remind everybody that the reading club at the library, although being held virtually, is underway. It is part of the assignments for students, returning to school next year to do some reading. So check the webpage and please sign up. Right now they have curbside pickup available. And they just recently added Storytime craft kits. So you can call and you can get the craft that you would have made at Storytime, come by, pick it up, and then, as you're following the Storytime, you can kind of do your craft at home. And I do understand the next library board meeting is tomorrow night, and they're kind of going to be discussing when they can resume limited access for the public as well. And you will get more information shortly. The Recreation Department is partnering with the South Plainfield Schools, and we're going to put together a movie night, probably the first week of August or so. Still waiting for the screens to be delivered, but we are working on that, and more information on that will be coming out shortly. And with that, progress.
Mayor, if I may add two things, please.
Sure.
Thank you. I forgot to mention that the Hometown Heroes, there's a link on the borough webpage that you can actually go to. A gentleman that I know actually put together a locator, and you can go to that link, and you can actually scroll down and also find where the banners are with an address. You can click on the actual banner, blow it up to see what it looks like, but it's a very handy tool for locating them throughout town in case you have a family member, a friend, or someone that you were looking for. It's right on the borough webpage. And then also I wanted to just let everyone know that Next Step Nutrition is also hiring. So Stephanie over there is looking to hire some employees to round out her staff. With that progress, Mayor, thank you very much.
You know what, I'm going to add one more thing then. I just want to mention the movie night will definitely be socially distanced. You'll have to kind of reserve a spot to make sure everybody's spread apart. So just wanted to add that.
Yes, and I think they did get the screens in today. The blowers
Okay.
are not in. So,
Okay, all
so
right, so.
from
but
what I've been
it's-
told, the blow-up screens do not work without blowers.
Okay, well, it's
So,
coming along,
Yeah,
so.
technically, we
information-
don't have them. I just have a couple things. First, if you've been following the borough Facebook page and website, you've been keeping track with how the borough's been doing with COVID-19 cases. Today, July 13th, we had 3 additional cases. It brings our total cumulative cases to 534. I think the important part is now for roughly about 8 weeks, we had been maintaining a 3-day moving average of at least 3 or less. As most people have been following the news, you're probably aware of spikes that you've seen in Florida. I think Florida had the largest one-day total ever for any state since the pandemic began, and Texas had some increases as well. I know the governor's got a lot of executive orders that are going out there. I'm sure a lot of us don't like them. We like to be able to do things the way we're used to be able to do them, but obviously some changes are necessary and required. So some of the recent executive orders have, number one, rolled back plans for reduced indoor dining at 25%. That will continue to put a strain on some of the small businesses, not only here in South Plainfield, but also across the state. So we are looking out for them and hoping that as New Jersey continues, hopefully, to stay on a path agreeable to the governor and the health professionals in the state, that we'll be able to relax some of those restraints to a little bit more accommodative, to where we can loosen up some of those items, especially indoor dining. With that being said, based on what's been happening down the Jersey Shore, the governor did pass executive orders requiring outdoor face masks. Again, now that is an instance where you cannot practice social distancing. And again, with that, there are a whole host of exemptions to that. Medical, children under 2, and again, a whole host of additional exemptions to that. As Mr. Smith, Councilman Smith had noted, again, we've seen a markedly increased level of individuals taking care of properly throwing away their masks and gloves, and we hope that continues throughout the borough. And then last but not least, as everybody has probably seen, the attention that motor vehicles has gotten as they look to reopen. I know there's a lot of young drivers that are looking to take their tests and have passed their tests and are looking to get their licenses. There are a whole host of restrictions that motor vehicles has put in place over the last couple of days. So I would encourage any of our residents to go to the motor vehicle website and look at those restrictions. Chief among them are each motor vehicle site is going to limit the amount of tickets that they hand out on a given day to try and control the lines and the experience that residents have when they go there. So I think South Plainfield is somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 a day, but that can increase based on other factors, primarily with a facility of our size. It's really going to be how productive they are on a given day. If productivity increases, they may be able to increase that number. Certain things you want to do online if you can, and if you can, they've sometimes in some instances mandated that you do. So if you have a vehicle coming up for renewal, you are required to do that online. If you go to the motor vehicle site, they're only going to send you back home. So again, I encourage our residents, before you waste time going out there and trying to get motor vehicle business done, take a look at the motor vehicle website and get that done. They are giving priority to new first-time drivers. So again, where license renewals will be put in line. I know some of our younger drivers are getting a little bit of a preferential treatment as they go through the line. That being said, it's still, I know one just stopped at my house not too long ago, my sons. They were there for 5.5 hours at motor vehicles. So again, if you don't have to be there, use the online channel. That's where you certainly want to do that. There are a whole host of extensions as well. That information is on the motor vehicle website. We will put that information on the borough website as well. But again, for the most up-to-date information, continue to follow the motor vehicle site. With that, we'll open it up for public comments on anything on your mind. Again, we're going to try this first. If you are on the WebEx, simply find the red microphone with the line through it. If you click on that microphone, it should unmute you. At that point, state your name, wait to be acknowledged by the municipal clerk, state your address, and then proceed with your question. If you are on the audio-only line, I believe *6 or #6, I believe it's #6, *6, one of them should unmute your line. The same thing, at that point, state your name, wait till you are acknowledged, and then proceed with your question. If all of that fails, again, the early warning, we will unmute all the lines, and at one more time, ask for any public comments. At this point, we'll open it up for public comments, anything on your mind.
Hi, it's Darlene Cullen. Can you hear me?
Ken?
Yes.
Amy? Amy, are you on?
I just wanted to thank Amy and Councilwoman Mott and Council President Faustini for all their work and dedication on the essay contest and allowing TAP to be the sponsor of the contest. A lot of work and dedication was put into it, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darlene.
Yes, thank you, Darlene.
Thank you.
Definitely, thank you. Anyone else? Sorry, there's one member of the public who's actually in the building taping for us. Ms. Boyle.
Debbie Boyle, Van Fleet. I want to thank the Hometown Heroes Committee and Councilman White. What a wonderful way to honor our veterans. They look beautiful, so thank you. And also congratulations to our 2020 graduates.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Seniors and college.
Definitely.
Thank you, Mrs. Boyle.
Thank you. They do look great. Anyone else? All right, we had one successful test from Ms. Cullen, so I know you can hear me out there, and I know you can follow instructions. I don't know if #6 or *6 works. My apologies. I'm pretty sure going off memory. Does anybody remember?
It doesn't say in the notes. I was just
I
looking
thought it
back
used to
too.
say.
I don't see anything, but
I
no.
think it's star.
All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll unmute all your lines again. This is your 3-second warning. If you're doing anything in the background that you don't want broadcast to the Borough of South Plainfield, please stop now. At this point, I will unmute all of your lines. Again, any final resident comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to mute all the lines again. Amy, at this point, we are going to go into executive session. So this is a first for our virtual meeting. I am going to attempt to put all of the residents in the lobby, and then we will be back as quick as possible. So enjoy the amenities in your own home. Be back.
That was good.